Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's Roadkick, and today we're going to be doing a video on settings, whether it be camera, controller, and video. Let's get right into it. So, this is default settings. We're going to be changing them one by one to show you what good settings look like. This is going to be based on my preferences or just by the general preference of like pros and just people that play the game in general. So what you're going to do first is you're going to take off camera shake, because what it does, it just, every time you hit the ball or you like make an impact, it just does the most uncomfortable hits ever. Okay, just take it off. Next is field of view. Baseline you have is 90, so what you're going to do is you're going to put it up to 110, because more FOV is never wrong, you know? You can never go wrong with more FOV. It's really useful. You can see more of the field at a time, and just the best thing in general. But I have seen some people put 1.9 or 110. Like, it doesn't change that much, just 1 degree. So it's not like you're going to put it at 100, okay? Next is distance, which you see most people using is like 260 to 280, maybe 90 if you want to really go far. I just stick with 270 because it just looks the best for the car on it for me. That's just for me, but you can test out different settings to see what you prefer. Next up is height. Personally, I use 90, but you see a lot of people using 110, 100. If you're like more of a dribble player, I would maybe try to hover around 100 to 110, but I just go 90 and just put the angle more down. See this how it looks like at 90, 110. So you can tell there's a big difference. Next, for angle, mostly you just see people going from -5 to -3. Personally, I use -4. With the angle of 90. If you see people going like 110, normally they're going to put it higher for the angle, but I just hover around here. That's like the best line I could go for. Next, for stiffness, I mostly use 0.35. That's what I'm comfortable around. As it says, it controls how rigidly your camera follows your car. If you put it at 100, you see how weird that looks? That's just like, it concentrates too much on the car. So if you put it at a lower one, like 0.35 like I do, she like hovers around and it follows the camera, but not too much as to make it uncomfortable. Next is swivel speed. As it says, controls the speed at which your camera will swivel around your car. So if you put a higher swivel speed, it's gonna swivel. If it's not rigid, it's gonna swivel like that. Like, it's gonna be a lot. So I just put mine at a good baseline. I don't put it too high. I already put it at like 3.4. That's what I'm comfortable with, you know. Just having like, it just feels better, you know. As I said, this is all preference, so like depending on what you're gonna take, it's all up to you, really. Next is transition speed. Like it says, it controls the speed of transitions between car and ball cam. You know, I would put mine at like 130. Like, you see people like putting it at like 2 sometimes, but like that's way too aggressive. The reason you would put this a little bit lower is so whenever you transition, you can see around where your ball cam is gonna go, so you can find teammates this way. So that's why I always put mine like a little like 130 to like 160. Sometimes I change if I want to feel faster when changing the camera, but hey, it's all preference at the end of the day. For demo transition time, it's really the amount of time it takes for a hard cut of the camera where you're gonna spawn. I mostly put mine just at 0.0. Like, whenever I get demoed, I just want to be able to see where I'm going as soon as possible. I feel like maybe that's just me, but I like to keep it that way. Inverted swivel, honestly, is just better than normal swivel, because it's just what I've used the whole time. You can change it if you want. That's up to you. Next up is controller settings. My binds, I'm going to go over this kind of quickly, because this is personal preference at the end of the day. If you want to change them, or if you use boost on R1, I'm not going to call you out or anything, but I do think it's the less optimal way to play. I use boost on B or circle if you're using PlayStation controller. Power slide on the same button. I have my arrow left. All the buttons are the same, honestly. Arrow right, arrow left, R1, L1. The only difference is I use the share button for scoreboard, so I don't accidentally press play. Reverse for camera is going to be my R3. And that's basically it. It's pretty simple settings. Next, for steering sensitivity, I mostly hover around 1.4. These are kind of high sometimes. You see some people using 1.6, but those are when you're really used to the settings and you feel a little bit slow. If you're starting out, I would just put like 120, 130 around that. And if you feel more comfortable and feel a little bit slow, just put it higher. Same thing with aerial sensitivity. I would put this around the same thing as the steering one. it just feels better all around. For dodge dead zone, if you have an older controller, I would recommend putting this higher, because some dead zones on older controllers are less responsive, so you want to have a higher actuation point for it to detect your inputs, so that actually you don't get misinputs in. Like if you have a lot of stick drift, I would put this higher, so it would take more of the controller going away for you to be able to actually make an input. But if you have a newer controller or just have mechanical joysticks, I would put this at 0.03 if you're comfortable with that. You know, you have to be comfortable with playing with the game, because if you like go with a higher one and you're not used to the game, that's perfect. But if you're used to the game, you put this lower to feel more smooth. Sometimes if you want to just feel faster, you put it here. For dodge dead zone, I put this at 0.65. It's pretty high compared to a lot of people. I see some people using like 0.3, 0.4, but I mostly put this around here because I don't want to accidentally backflip when I'm double jumping. Maybe that's just me, but I mean, doing a backflip doesn't sound like the best idea when you don't want to do it. So that's where I just put it. I just take off control vibrations, camera is toggle. Next up is interface settings. I mostly put this at 92 because I don't like it being that big. Like that just makes me uncomfortable. Put it at 92. Display scale, put that shit at 100%. You want that as much big as the big amount as possible, you know. And next up is nameplate scale. I put this around 190, 180. Like if you want to see the nameplates of your teammates and opponents, you don't want to be like not knowing where they are, you know. You want to know where your teammates are, so you put the nameplates a little bit bigger, and it helps. Nameplate mode, I just put default. I don't change that. Match notifications, that depends on people. I put time updates only because I don't care. I don't want any of like the aerial hits and all that stuff. I don't care. All of these are pretty rudimentary. Like I just take off ball cam. If you want to see how fast the ball went in kilometers instead, you just put in metric system. Next up is video settings. These are pretty important because it dictates the amount of FPS you're going to get. So if your PC is very strong, but you're wondering why it's not actually getting the performance you need, well, for those who don't know, Rocket League is a CPU heavy game. It is not a GPU heavy, so it does not matter if you have a good graphics card or not. You could have a shit graphics card and a good CPU, and that's where all your FPS is going to go, because it's a 2-core game. At the end of the day, it does not matter if you have a big CPU or not. Like, Rocket League is CPU dependent. So you're going to put this at native resolution. Like, I have a 2K monitor, that's why it's at this. Full screen if you want to have higher FPS, because when you're putting it on windowed, it's more easy when you're like streaming, because it doesn't tab out the game and makes it uncomfortable for your viewers. But I just like the higher FPS. Vertical sync, you want to take that off, because at least lower FPS. I mean, it reduces screen tearing, as it says, but it's going to increase the input delay. And increasing input delay, it does. If you apply it, it halves my FPS. You can see in the corner, it just halves my FPS. That's awful. Anti-aliasing, I'm gonna put that off, because this is all of these advanced settings down here always depends on how good you want a game to look. I don't really care. I just want more performance, so I put this at high quality for render quality, because render quality is GPU dependent. So if you have a good GPU, just put it higher. It doesn't matter. It is not going to affect your FPS that much. And render detail, you can put that custom. Every time you change one of these, it's going to be custom. Frames per second, you're going to put this at the recommended normally, because it's going to be put to your monitor's refresh rate. I just put it at uncapped because I want to get the less amount of input delay as possible. Next up is texture detail. I just put it at high performance. World detail, I just put that in performance as well. Particle detail, put that in performance. Effects intensity, I just put in default. I don't care about low or high. High quality shaders, I turn that off. All it does, like you can see, like it makes the game look better. Is it really worth the 100 FPS? I'm not sure. Ambient inclusion, it's just shadows, like more realistic shadows. I don't care, really. Depth of field, same with that. Bloom is just if you want a game to look a little bit more flashy. I mean, it looks nice. Lens flare, don't need that. Light shafts, don't need that. Dynamic shadows, I mean, it's cool. But then again, do you really need it? You know? Next up is motion blur, take that off. Weather effects, yeah, you can keep it in if you want. And that's going to be it for today's video. Those are all the settings. If you have any questions in the comments about what I prefer to use, or just like some things were not explained correctly, I'm down to answer it. And if you want to be there for the streams, or when I want to wanting to make a video, just be there on ttv/roadkickqc at 9 p.m. Eastern Time from Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and on 8 p.m. on Saturday. Hope you guys are going to win. Peace.